Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, hi, I am Exie and welcome to Life with Exie, where we share about the realities of womanhood, faith, motherhood, and life in general. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to stick around for more by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Let's get into the video. Have you ever heard the sentence, never give up on your dreams, before? I once was a big believer of this ideology. Don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to give up on your dreams, but I want to talk about how misleading it can be sometimes, and in many cases, it can be okay to let go of your dreams. I will use my own experience as an example. My biggest dream since I could remember was to go to Hollywood and become an actor and a singer. I always wanted to be famous. Throughout my teenage years, I did everything I could to learn to sing and learn instruments. I learned to play the piano for 6 months against my parents' will. I joined choirs after choirs and sang every minute I could. I was that theater kid, the ones who think the world is their stage and everybody else needs to listen to them, needs to hear them sing. Whenever I was asked to stop, my answer was always along the lines of, someday I will be famous and I will prove you all wrong. I was a firm believer of the idea that anything is possible if you believe in yourself. And I always considered being a performer my biggest passion. I truly thought that was who I was born to be. Fast forward 10 years later, I am a wife and a mother. I can't believe I used to want to be anything other than what I am today. Obviously, these two things are not mutually exclusive, but being a performer was always the priority for me. The way my heart's desires have transformed since then can only be the work of the one who knows me better than I know myself, God. He changed my heart in a way I could have never imagined possible. I have always had many passions. At some point of my life, I thought I wanted to live in my car, so I wouldn't pay rent. Mind you, it wasn't even a van, it was a Honda Civic. My friends and family constantly told me it was a terrible idea, and looking back now, I know God was using them to keep me from making that decision. However, I was too stubborn and refused to listen. I had to get into a car accident and get my car totaled to realize that maybe that wasn't such a great idea after all. The car story reminds me of the story of Jonah in some ways, how we as humans are just not powerful enough to change God's plans in our lives regardless of how stubborn we are. We simply can't escape God's plans for us. In 2019, to pursue my dream, I planned to move to New York. I didn't know anyone there and was okay with the risk of being homeless and jobless for however long it was gonna take. I was absolutely delusional in the worst ways possible. Then COVID happened and Broadway was closed for a while, so there was no reason for me to move to New York. Now that I think about it, do you guys think COVID happened because of me? That God was trying to keep me from going to New York? That's hilarious. Obviously, it's a joke. But thinking about the fact that I was willing to become homeless in New York, especially in the winter, just to become a Broadway star is absolutely absurd now and laughable. Anyways, now that I am older, I know I wouldn't want to live in New York. No hate to New Yorkers, I just hate the cold. The thought of being a Hollywood actor doesn't even align with who I am. I am a Christian. I don't want to kiss complete strangers or have to be half naked on screen. Not to mention that everybody wants to be in the entertainment industry. Back then, I chose to be delusional and chose to think I would make it even if I was not willing to do the things most actors are asked to do. I still love public speaking, theater, and music. I still want to learn instruments. That hasn't changed. I believe that God puts a desire in our hearts for a reason. When I started working on my relationship with God, I read in 1 Corinthians 10:31 that whether you eat, or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. And that is when I realized that God put the love of music in my heart so I could sing for Him and help others pray. I've heard this saying when I was young, and I always believed it to be true, that singing for God is praying twice. Because when you sing, you are not only worshiping God, but you are also leading others to worship and pray with you. I found my calling after I found God. Although I have been a Christian my whole life, I didn't really have an intimate relationship with God, so I constantly felt lost. Since I was young, I always knew that I wanted to be a wife and a mother someday, but I never considered it to be my dream or my calling. It was just a reality, something inevitable, kind of like growing up. So I never really thought of praying about it. I just knew that someday God would send my husband, we would get married and have children. There was a shift that happened around 2021 that changed everything for me. I had hit such a low that I knew only God could save me. So I sought Him, and the good thing with God is if you seek Him, He will let Himself be found. Once I started that journey, things slowly started falling into place. Slowly, with a lot of setbacks in between, it was clear that God was taking me somewhere. And around that same time, I also started praying for my future husband almost every day. The desire to get married grew in me, and in 2023, I met my husband. We got married a year later. Then I naturally started desiring to become a mother. After I got married, I still tried pursuing what I thought was my passion. I took some acting classes, and that had just confirmed what I already knew at that point. It hit me hard because it felt like I was giving up, while simultaneously realizing that I was changing. It felt like I didn't know myself. And around that same time, I found out I was pregnant. Then it became abundantly clear that being a stay-at-home mom was going to be my top priority. And I finally was able to let go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. Letting go means freeing yourself from things that steal your energy. And many of us need to learn to let go sometimes. People change, and along with them sometimes their dreams. Allow yourself to change. And who knows, maybe in 20 years from now, you will want to go back to pursuing that goal again. Usually when people talk about pursuing their dreams and never giving up, they are talking about pursuing that one thing so hard that nothing else matters. And giving up is not an option. Your dreams are supposed to be your calling in life, your life's purpose, and what you were born to be. The problem with that is that many of us were called to be different things in different seasons of our lives. With life is that there is always a what's next phase, regardless of your dreams. People evolve and our dreams evolve with us. And that is why I am now against the sentence, follow your dreams. I'm not saying you should not have dreams, but allow yourself and your dreams to change. Treat them more like goals. Humans are designed to always want more. We should have goals in life. We need to have goals in life. But we also need to remember they shouldn't stop us from enjoying life today. Life is a journey, and the point of it is to enjoy the journey to your goals. Because after you reach that goal, there will be another goal and another one after that. In conclusion, my dream became my dream because I watched celebrities and I thought I wanted to have what they had. And I am glad I let myself grow and change. Life is not perfect. We don't always choose what happens to us. But if today was my last day on earth, I would have spent it playing, nourishing, and cuddling my baby boy. And that for me is success. God knows you better than you know yourself. That is one of the lessons my 25 years on earth has taught me. Just let Him guide you, and you will be okay. Thank you for sticking till the end of the video. I hope to see you again on my next one. Have a good rest of your day. Bye for now.